Week 3 is in the books, and we have our first awards of the season to give out. The first award goes to Mr. Flynn, as he secured the Tough Tomatoes Award, as he scored the second most points of the week, but it wasn't enough to beat Parker, who scored the most points. Flynn now has the second most points on the season, but despite this, he is 1-2 and in 8th place. One might argue that his talent has always been there, but he pissed off the fantasy gods, which is why they're coming back to get him with a vengeance. The season is still young, though, and he can still reach his preseason goal of 5th place. Parker, on the other hand, has been killing opponents week after week, relying mainly on the 1-2 punch of Justin Jefferson and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen himself set some records this week, including the most receptions while throwing for a touchdown, begging to question how many random-ass records there are that no one ever thinks about. On the other side of the rainbow, we have our second award, which is the Rather Be Lucky Than Good award, which goes to G, who scored the 10th most points of the week, but still was able to come out with a victory against Todd. Todd's season is starting to run away from him, pun intended, as he has no viable running backs. This sparked the latest trade that sent CeeDee Lamb over to the fantasy football team. Speaking of the fantasy football team, Quack went down to Matthew Berry's Minions 165 to 133, leading to Quack rebranding his team. Quack got off to a DeAndre Swift start, gaining 47 points between the running back and Eagles defense, but Prego was able to Kenneth Walker his way to victory during the 4 o'clock games as his running back scored 30 of his 165 points. On to the next matchup, we had the Bijan's Field of Dreams against the LeBarkley Trophy in the Battle of the Chefs. This matchup, both teams threw out some terrible entrees, with 11 of the players between them not meeting their projected points. But ultimately, Gary turned out to be the better James Cook between him and Tyler, as Tyler got Brandon cooked 134 to 122. In our biggest blowout of the week, we had All In on Allen shove his Buffalo D up the Valhalla Valkyries. This one has got to have Will screaming, "Chris, God, can I get a win?" But as if to add insult to injury, God smited Mike Williams, who is now on the injured reserve. Last but not least, we have our closest matchup of the week between myself and Mac. The Hans Dynasty was Jamar chasing a 60-point deficit going into Sunday Night Football when Devontae Adams put the team on his back and put up 46 points, leading to the 152 to 142 victory. I didn't actually write down the numbers, but I won by 10. Adams has since been the talk of the league with various trade requests on the Raiders, but seems quite content with the Hans Dynasty. The Hans Dynasty will be looking for more from Danny Dimes and Derrick Henry, however, as neither was able to get more than 2 points. Keep in mind there is a Sunday Drake-London game, as he and the Falcons will take on the Jaguars, so set up your lineups accordingly.